Today's workout is a 10-minute knee-friendly leg workout. We're not gonna do any traditional squats and lunges. We're gonna use dumbbells if you want to. We'll start on the floor with what's called a bear squat. So you're gonna come into a plank, hands under shoulders, feet a little wider than hips. You're gonna push your butt back and then shift forward back into the plank. So your hips are going toward your heels and then you're coming forward, bracing your abs in that plank. So it's like a squat, right? Those hips are going back and down, but it's not putting pressure on your knees. But we're still working the hips. Keep those abs tight in that plank. We're going for 50 seconds. Move as slow as you want to here. It's not about how fast you can go. It's about the quality of those reps. This is great for mobility work too if you're just trying to warm up before a workout. And rest. We're gonna move to a deadlift. So come onto your feet and grab your dumbbells. We're gonna bring those dumbbells to the legs. I'll show you from this side here. Feet under hips, shoulders back and down, brace your abs and then hinge forward from the hips. Come down to a flat back and then extend, come up. As you're coming down, make sure you're maintaining strong ab brace, chest up, shoulders back. And then you're keeping those weights close to your legs. So that tension stays in the back, the glutes, and the hamstrings. I'm using 10 pounds here. You could always use more or less. It should be challenging, but again, you should still be able to maintain your form throughout. Rest. We're gonna move to a standing leg extension. You can hold the weights or not for this one. We're gonna start with the right leg. So open your arms. We're gonna extend the leg back and tap. So back and tap. You're opening your arms just a little bit, squeezing your shoulder blades together. And that leg, you're kicking it to the back corner. So it's a leg extension. You're extending through the hip, squeezing your glute, flexing that foot. And then as you open the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades, you're getting into the posterior chain, the back of the body. It's a little bit of balance work too. Great for your hips and glutes, your core. Rest. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. So you get the idea now. Working the full back body here. Here we go, other leg back. Knees are soft when you step in. Make sure you're not locking out those knees. If your arms are getting tired here, you can always put down the weights. You don't have to use them here. You can always just put your hands on your hips. But really try to extend back through that hip. Squeeze your glute. You can see my leg's not coming off the floor that much. We want to keep that work in the glute. If you go too high, you really try to kick high, you're going to take it into your low back, and we don't want to do that. Rest. We're moving on to a monster walk. You could use one dumbbell or no weight at all. We're gonna bring that weight to your collarbones if you want it. We're gonna squat down, take 4 steps to the right, or about the length of your mat. For me, that's 3. We're gonna take it to the left. If you're watching, you probably just noticed it looked like I went to the left, but sometimes I say the opposite of what I am doing based on what you see. I try to mirror, but it doesn't always work. All right, put those hips back. Make sure your knees are staying in line with your toes. You're leading with that outside edge of your foot. So that way you're in line from hip, knee to ankle. Weights back in your heels. Chest is lifted. Again, you don't need to use the weight here, but it does add a little extra something. So yeah, it doesn't matter how many you're doing each side, just try to make it even as best as you can. All right, moving on. Grab your other dumbbell. We've got a single leg deadlift. So feet under hips, lift one leg, extend through that hip, reach down toward your ankle and lift up. So we're hinging from the hip. We already did that deadlift, so you know how it feels. But this time, we're extending one leg. Toe points to the ground in that leg that's kicking back. We want to make sure, again, we have good posture here, chest up, shoulders back, abs tight. You might wobble a little bit, no big deal. Try to press through all four corners of your foot here to stay nice and stable. Nice and slow. Okay, rest. We're gonna do the same thing, other leg. So moving with intention, moving with control, that's the focus here. Other leg, ooh, take it back. Might take you a couple to get kind of balanced on one side, and that's totally okay. Remember, we're trying to keep those hips square to the floor. And that's gonna allow us to extend through the hip, get that work in the glute and hamstring. And it'll help us stay balanced. A lot of people, when they get their balance thrown off, it's because they're twisting and opening that hip. Or they're trying to round their spine to get lower. I want you to keep those shoulder blades squeezing together. So that way, the whole way, you're keeping good posture, abs tight. Rest. We're gonna move to a reverse tabletop with a leg extension. We're gonna do one leg at a time. So hands under shoulders. And we're gonna extend, lift up your hips, extend one leg, bring it back down. Do the same leg again. So you're bridging your hips, extending the leg, coming back down. Squeeze your butt, lift those hips nice and high. You're using your back body to drive those hips up. Come as high as you can. We're gonna feel in the backs of those legs, your glutes, your hamstrings. Rest. We're gonna do the same thing, other leg. So really great exercise for your back and your core as well. Okay, other leg, up, extend. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Nice and slow here. So really keep tension in those muscles. And rest. We're gonna move on to a glute bridge and we're gonna march with those knees over the hips. So feet close to butt, hands down, bridge the hips. We're gonna lift one leg over your hip at a time. So marching those legs. As you lift one leg, make sure that opposite leg is staying really stable. We're trying to keep the hips nice and high the whole time. All right, there we have it. 10 minutes, knee-friendly legs. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know you'll find this one's easy on your joints, but still really effective in toning those legs and glutes. So I'll see you back here next time for our next workout.